So imagine this, you are an engineer from India, you studied in America, or you got a job in America at a top company, AI company, and you have been living in the United States for the last few years or decades. You have been following every rule that there is, and you have been jumping through every hoop that they have put you through. And then suddenly a new government comes and says, leave the country. And if you want to come back or receive a green card, you have to go to your own country of origin and then apply for your green card from abroad. Imagine what kind of mental stress that one must be going or you must be going, since we are imagining it. Not only your job is at risk, your family is at risk, and suddenly the future that was certain till yesterday is uncertain now, right? It's very scary to even imagine that. Now imagine what people actually living through it might have gone through. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about how big business and AI companies forced Trump Chacha to soften his stance on the green card policy. So coming back to it, recently Trump administration announced a very dramatic change to America's green card process. Like everything, Trump, they thought they could brute force it, but something unexpected happened. Some of the biggest companies in America, tech giants as we call them, started pushing back. The companies that were so happy that Trump came into power suddenly started pushing back when it came to this particular issue. And within days, the administration softened its stance. And I wanted to know why. Why did Trump suddenly do a U-turn? See, the hallmark is that he does U-turns here and there. But in this policy, it was looking like they are going to stick with it. But suddenly, they made a they started softening on their stance. Why? See, the question boils down to the answer boils down to simply the AI ambitions of America. See, whether America likes it or not, most of their developers, their researchers in AI are from other countries who happen to be immigrants. Whether the politicians want to admit it or not is for their own to decide. But majority of these people are immigrants. So, what was the original policy? Why was it brought around? So, we'll explore that first. For many decades, many immigrants who have been living legally in legally in the United States, could apply for a green card without actually leaving the country. The process did not call for them to leave the country. They called this process as something called adjustment of status. You don't have to leave the country. All you have to do is adjust the status. So that was the principle that was in force. So what it did was it allowed students, it allowed professionals, it allowed workers to kind of have a transition from a temporary visa to a permanent residency uh, without leaving the country while they were actually living in the country. Then suddenly this policy came. Now the administration announced that most applicants would need to return to their home country and complete the green card process through American embassies and American consulates in their respective countries. And once that process is done, they can come back and work in the industry or continue their life here. See, on paper, on or at least on the politician's mind, it looks like a simple administrative change. But in reality, what it ended up happening was create a lot of uncertainty and actually disrupted lives of people, or was about to disrupt the lives of people. Because as I said earlier, it meant that they have to leave their actual life in America and go back to the country that they came from, just to complete the process of their green card. It means that they're going to be separated from their family. It is nothing but a career interruption. And you know how American visas work. You don't even know whether it will take months or years, or altogether in the worst case scenario, you might not even get that thing, and you'll be forced to give up your life in America and stay behind. Like anything, there was criticism because this policy would upend the lives of immigrants, and it brought in unnecessary complexity to an already stressed system, we can say that. And inevitably, it was going to have a huge impact on one of the biggest industries of America, that is the tech industries. And rightly so, the companies panicked. There is no other word for it. Tech companies, tech giants in America started panicking because their entire dev base is immigrant, right? That is where the strongest criticism to this policy come from. It did not come from liberal people or Democrats or any other the left leaning people in America. It actually came from the tech industry itself. It came from businesses, particularly AI companies that are reliant on immigrants to build systems for them. As I said, modern tech industries in America are heavily immigrant dependent. They need highly skilled immigrants to work in their companies to develop things. Many engineers, scientists, AI researchers, developers migrate to United States to work in these companies. They come through employment. Most of them come through student visas. Then they get a job in an industry. Then through the adjustment of status thing and the other processes, they'll get employment visas, H1Bs, or other forms of visas, O1s, or whatever it is, and they work in that industry and they build their lives here. So after few decades of going through this, they'll seek permanent residence through either citizenships or through the green card process. And suddenly, after you investing so many years, likewise the companies investing so much of resources on you, uh, suddenly they says, no, you cannot stay here, you have to go back. See, the panic went both ways here. The individual was also panicked. The companies that hired that individual also started panicking, which is a good thing in this case. The individual will lose his way of life. Far more importantly, the companies will lose an employee, an important resource, a talent overnight. This is a nightmare situation for those companies, right? And once you lose the talent, you are no longer developing, so you are no longer competitive. It will affect their bottom dollar. If I wanted to use the word, I thought it was corny, but I'll use it anyway. It was going to affect their bank. At least, particularly in this scenario, right? American companies, America as a whole, is competing head on with the Chinese. I'm not going to take other countries. The main competition of China when it comes to tech is United States, and for United States, it's China. Immigrants coming into America, surprisingly from China itself, there is some other thing that I wanted to talk. Okay, see, immigrants play a larger role. They are talented people. They go where opportunities take them. For example, if immigration becomes harder, some other country with good standards of living, good employment opportunities comes and says, yeah, we'll give you visa without any you jumping through fire hoops. The people, these talented people, once they have decided that they're going to immigrate from one place, their home place, they'll be almost willing to settle some other place also, right? So there was a real fear that other countries will provide simple immigration policies for highly skilled people, and they'll attract the talent from America, or attract pull talent away from America. So that is one fear. At the end of the day, it would have largely hurt these tech companies in their AI race, as one can call it. As I said, it becomes more. It starts to make more sense why the companies reacted the way they did, particularly about this policy, is because of AI. It is a technology that has assumed a lot of strategic importance. Companies not only are heavily tilting towards AI, nations themselves are treating AI as a strategic asset. So the simple formula funda is whoever leads the AI race, they could win the whole world. They could have the economic advantage, they could have the geopolitical advantage, and this race means a lot to America. Most of the developers, most of the researchers in the fields of AI are not Americans. They were naturalized, or they immigrated from one country to America to start their lives. So they were not born in America, they were born abroad. So international talent is what makes up majority of American AI. So once you put these restrictions, what it essentially end up doing was it sends a very bad message to the people that are coming. So it simply says, Ariyar, you worked here, but we don't want you. So that's a negative message, right? What happens if all these people decided to leave? Not all, most of them decide to leave to better countries, to other countries. The worst case scenario, China itself. People do move to China, right? China does offer something. So that was the worst case scenario. So these companies started lobbying against this policy, which again, surprising. So if you are looking at it, I from Washington Post, it says that major businesses launched a quiet but extensive lobbying effort against this policy. This involved a lot of industry groups, a lot of corporate leaders, lot of tech heavyweights. They put their weight behind this argument against this policy, and they started warning policymakers about the drastic economic consequences if this policy went ahead with gone through. Their message was simple. So if you bring this policy, you can forget about American competitiveness in AI. It would hurt AI innovation in this country, and it would make recruitment of global talent, AI researchers, AI developers across the world, and trying to bring them to America would be much more difficult than what it is now. So it appears that this lobbying effort has worked, because ultimately the Trump administration said, okay, we are hearing you, we understand it, we understand your concerns, and we'll try to navigate this through by taking input. So that is a good thing, right? See, at the end of the day, this was not about visas, this was not about the policy, it was a power play kind of thing, right? The Trump administration tried to bring in a major immigration change. The moment it started affecting some of the most important industries in America, these companies immediately started pushing back. Once these companies started pushing back, the policy softened, right? This shows how important the future of AI is for these countries. For them to win this AI race, they need those people. They might not like where they are coming from, but they bloody well understand that they need these people. So, if America wants to remain a global destination for AI talent, it has to open up its borders, not in the literal sense, but it cannot take these kinds of hard stances. So, their policy, immigration policy, when it comes to highly skilled labors, kind of dictates the future of AI for America itself. So, that's that. At the end of the day, they prioritized their economic competitiveness over everything else. So, yeah, that is where this conflict kind of came from. And the industry stepped in and it solved itself. So, I felt this very interesting. That is why I brought it to you. So, thanks for tuning in. Hope you found this useful. Again, thank you so much for watching. Um, if you found this breakdown helpful, hit the like button, subscribe for more fact based analysis. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.